everyone. Good afternoon, sir. Uh, I welcome to Dr. Ajay Garg, sir, and CA Sweta, ma'am. Dr. Ajay Garg, sir, is our speaker for today's MSME Pathshala series, which is topic on Haryana State MSME policy. And CA Sweta, ma'am, is a coordinator for this session. So I welcome to both of you. Now I hand it over to CA Sweta, ma'am, for welcome address for of CA Ajay Garg, sir. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Uh, A very warm welcome to all the participants joining us for today's insightful session under the MSME Pathshala Series 2.0, hosted by Committee on MSME Startup of ICI. It's my great privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed speaker for the day, Dr. Ajay Garg. Dr. Garg is a seasoned 360-degree professional with an impressive 38 years of corporate experience. He is known for his work as an efficient speaker, technical author, and a dedicated social entrepreneur. His qualifications are versatile as his career, including MA in Economics, MCOM, MBA, LLB, FCS, FICA, IBBI registered valuer, IPR attorney, and many more. He has served as a director on the board of Corporation Bank and has delivered over and above 600 lectures at the various prestigious institutions like ICAI, ICSI, and many more. Dr. Garg is also a prolific author of six influential books: Financial Inclusion, A Viable Opportunities in Urban India, Corporate Laws, CA Professionals and SME in Make in India, A Handbook for Professionals, Come On, Start the Business, Social Auditor Exam, MCQ 2023, and Social Auditor Exam MCQ Second Edition, November 2023. In addition, he is the founder and honorary secretary general of Normi Research Foundation and driving force behind the multi-initiative platform. Today, we are truly fortunate to have him speak on the subject, the Haryana State MSME Policy, a topic that impacts practitioners, entrepreneurs, and policymakers alike. Let us warmly welcome Dr. Ajay Garg.
Thank you, Shwetaji. Thank you. Thank you very much for courteous introduction. Usually introduction is into one or two lines, but you have gone into details. Thank you very much. In today's session, we will be talking about Haryana State MSME policies, and I will be sharing the PPT and the questions as and when the questions will come. I will take the questions and will be taking PPT on and off so that questions can be given the true importance and the interest of the participant is maintained through question answers. Therefore, first caveat is that yes, feel free to raise question whenever you have the question, and as and when I will notice that 2-3 questions are there, then I will take off the PPT and will go forward for the questions. Well, as this is weekend and we are talking about MSME, therefore let us start the session with the story. And the title to the story I have given Small is Beautiful. And this story I have taken from the book Ramayana. And this story is about Lord Hanuman, that when he was going for the first time to Sri Lanka, then to check his capabilities, the one demon named Sursa, she took the exam of Lord Hanuman. And he could pass the exam when he converted himself into the smallest possible creature. And he fulfilled the condition of the Sursa, the condition which she put that she will eat him. And he, in the smallest form, he entered into the mouth of the Sursa, open mouth, and before she could close it, he came out. And we have seen that when we talk about MSME, that yes, the size may be small, though not so small now with the change in the definition, but MSMEs are also like the small creature, and small is beautiful. Anyway, after this story, though many people now say that why you call this a story, you shall not call this a story. Anyway, let us first of all talk about the Haryana before I start talking about Haryana MSME policy. And see, Haryana is a state which is situated in northern part of India. The total area of Haryana is 44,000 kilometers. The population of Haryana is about 2 crores. Rivers, two prominent rivers are Yamuna and Ghaggar. Ghaggar is basically the rain river, whereas Yamuna is perennial river. And Haryana also have some hill areas. Shivalik Range, which is near Panchkula at the top of the Haryana's map. And then there are Aravali foothills, which are at the bottom of the Haryana and touches the Haryana from the southern side. And Haryana, if you talk about the history, is famous for the battlefields. Total number of districts are 22, and Haryana was given the statehood on 1st November 1966. What is distinct? That as far as Haryana is concerned, all roads mettered. Potable drinking water has reached to all villages. Electricity has also reached to all villages. And I will also tell why I am talking about this. Main automobile center, yes, Haryana is automobile center with 2/3 of the passenger vehicles, 50% tractors and 60% motorbikes. And now Maruti coming up with the third plant, which is largest in the world. Now this will become the hub for the cars also, though South has the edge, but Haryana with 3 plants by Maruti also now coming up fast. Third largest software exporter, population, and 7 operational special economic zone. And 30 special economic zones are upcoming. 50% of the refrigerators production of India comes from Haryana, 1.5% geographical area, but 15% agriculture out. So therefore, today Haryana is not only the agrarian state, but it is also industrialized state. And 6th most attractive state for attracting the foreign direct investment. MSME in Haryana as per the official records. And okay, and see, IMTs, industrial model townships, spread across Haryana. Inland container depots, because Haryana does not have seashore. Therefore, internal container depot gives lifeline to the exports from Haryana. Small state, but 40 plus universities, 800 plus colleges, 150 plus engineering colleges, 180 polytechnics. IIT is not there, but IIM is there. IIT is also there. National Institute of Technology is also there. National Institute of Design is also there. And Skill University, yes, Haryana boasts of the first skill university. Haryana Enterprise Promotion Board that has been set up by Government of Haryana, and 10 crores, and up to district level, means district level committee gives the approval for the projects up to 10 crores, and more than 10 crores goes to HEPB, Haryana Enterprise Promotion Board. If we talk about the MSMEs in Haryana, then there are clusters related to automobiles in Faridabad, Gurgaon, Manesar also now, and Sonipat is upcoming. Textile clusters are also there in Panipat and in nearby areas. Food and beverages, that is also there. Engineering is there. Metal sector, primarily in Yamunanagar and Jagadri. And concentration of medium size industries are there in Faridabad, Gurgaon and Panipat. Traditional micro and small, they are also there. That means related to food and beverages. Okay. And after talking about the Haryana, now let us talk about MSME policy. Haryana MSME policy 2019. But when you read the MSME policy of Haryana, then you will not get much there for the professionals. Now question comes that if it is not mentioned in Haryana MSME policy, where will you get it? So you have to read MSME policy of Haryana along with Haryana Enterprises and Employment Policy 2020. And this may be very interesting for the participants, my colleagues, my professional colleagues to understand that this policy which I am talking about is not known as Haryana Industrial Policy, but it is known as Enterprises and Employment Policy 2020. Perhaps this name itself is an outcome of political hue and cry, which we listen from time to time. And there is differentiation also that in 20th century, only manufacturing sector was recognized. In 1992, the service sector was recognized. Therefore, instead of naming it Haryana Industrial Policy, the government thought it fit to name it as enterprises, because the word enterprises comprise not only the manufacturing sector, but it's also comprise service sector, which is also flourishing in Haryana in terms of Gurugram and nearby areas, Panchkula and nearby areas, and then Karnal and nearby areas. We find that yes, world-class service sector enterprises are there. That is the reason that this policy which I'm talking about, Haryana MSME policy, you will not find much, because macro level things are mentioned in Haryana MSME policy. But if you are professional, you are in practice and you aspire to make money, then you need to go through Haryana Enterprises and Employment Policy 2020. The word enterprises has its justification, as just now I told you, that enterprises word comprises not only industry, but it comprises the service sector also. And then why employment has been clubbed with this? Perhaps what I could understand that there should be political reason, that if you say that only industrial policy and you give concessions, then there are political issues, that why industrialists are getting the concessions. Therefore, perhaps uh, this employment word also got included in this Haryana Enterprises and Employment Policy 2020. And this policy became effective from 1st January 2021. What does it mean? That this policy will continue for 5 years, and 5 years means when I'm talking and we are talking about this today in April, then this policy is effective policy. And while going through this Haryana Enterprises and Employment Policy, we will focus only and only about the policies which are related to the MSME sector. Well, if we talk about the Haryana, nowadays you will find that every state wants to take the growth to the sector, to the geographical areas which are neglected. Therefore, what has happened? Same thing has happened in Haryana also, that Haryana, on the basis of the growth of the industry, has been subdivided into 4 blocks: A, B, C, and D. A means most industrialized, and D means least industrialized. And as, as a true professional, you can easily understand that when the benefits are there, then the benefits for the D block must be the maximum. Benefits for C block must be more than the benefits which are available in B block, and the benefits in A block shall be minimum, because these areas are already industrialized. But benefits are there for A block also. For example, say you are practicing from Gurugram, then and you want to practice in the field of subsidies for MSMEs in Haryana, then you need to take care that if your customer company, if your client company is planning something in block A, then subsidies may be less for them, and every subsidy is not applicable for every geographical areas. And another shift which has happened in Haryana, that district industry centers are now equipped with dedicated officer designated as district MSME officer. Means every district has a separate officer which is known as district MSME officer, and whenever any subsidy is applied, at that time the role of district MSME officer in terms of field survey becomes important. Means that we need to take care that in whatever district you are, or even if say you are in Delhi and you wish to facilitate because you have your clientele in Haryana, then you need to connect with district MSME officer, not at one stage, not at stage one, not at initial stage, but at intermediate stage when field survey will happen, because this field survey will be taken care of by district MSME officer, and his report will be uploaded on the portal. Means you can say that yes, most of the activities related to subsidy and fiscal incentives are in the form of portal, but so that black sheeps don't get the benefits, therefore this field inspection happens, and this field inspection is taken care of by district MSME officer. Haryana Micro and Small Enterprises Facilitation Council. This Facilitation Council, as mentioned in MSME Development Act, has now taken shape in all states of India, and in Haryana also. Haryana is one of the pioneer state as far as this MSE Facilitation Council is concerned for recovery of payments. Now see, you might be wondering that here it is mentioned micro and small, but the medium is missing from this Facilitation Council. First of all, let us understand that this Facilitation Council is for recovery of payments. That means if money is stuck up, money is not coming, your client's customer is not paying the money against the supplies, then MSMEs can go. But MSMEs, as far as Facilitation Council is there, as far as the appeal is there, this lies only for micro and small enterprises. That means the medium enterprises do not get the benefit of Facilitation Council for the purpose of recovery of payments. Only micro and small enterprises get that benefit when we talk about. But this situation is all across India, that MSC facilitation councils are to facilitate the recovery of payments which is stuck up for the micro and small enterprises only, and not for the medium sector. In today's world, when we are talking about 21st century, where in mission mode, Government of India along with the state governments is working for the this computerization and for online things, so that human intervention is minimum to the extent minimum possible. Here, these three sites become very important. Number one, msme.haryana.gov.in, so that you can understand that what all is there in MSME policy. Then another website is haryanaindustries.com. This is also very important because the principal policy, which is in detail, which talks about various subsidies and fiscal incentives, Haryana Enterprises and Employment Policy, that is basically the child of haryanaindustries.com, means Ministry of Industry. So therefore, visiting this website is important. And the third website, which is very important if you are in practice and if you aspire to practice in the field of the subsidies, then this investharyana.in, this becomes important site, web link, because online applications are the order of the day, and online applications for the subsidies can be uploaded on this portal investharyana.in. And before that, login ID and password is to be created. This is one-time activity, and after that, year-on-year basis, the MSMEs can apply for the subsidies on this portal investharyana.in. Well, let us talk about the okay. Before I talk about the policy, I thought that first of all I shall talk about the, because I'm talking to the professionals, I'm not talking to the MSMEs. Therefore, first of all, I shall talk about the low-hanging fruits. That means subsidies and incentives which are available for MSME sector, for which a practicing professional can also connect and can also facilitate. And when you facilitate the subsidy, you become the incarnation of goddess of wealth for your client. Now, first of all, let us talk about the marketing side subsidies. And in marketing side subsidy, the sum of the subsidy, the first subsidy which I would like to explain over here is in relation to international fair. See, international fairs happens all across the world. Some of your clients just data mine your basket, client basket, and you may find that some of your client companies have grown and they just want to grow their business beyond the frontiers of India also. Now question comes that how to grow the business. Then some of the MSMEs, what do? That they participate in the international fairs which happens beyond Indian boundaries. And famous international fairs they participate. When they participate in international fairs, are they eligible to get the subsidy? Answer is yes. That if they are micro and small enterprises, then they are eligible to get the subsidy. And this subsidy is not one time, but this subsidy is year on year basis. Means one fair every year. Every MSC who participate in international fair, they are eligible for this subsidy. And now see what is the quantum of the subsidy. First of all, the quantum for space charges, shipment of exhibits, cost of product literature, display material, stall, stand, fabrication, designing charges, etc. all put together. And the maximum limit is 4 lakh rupees. And this 4 lakh, if your MSME client participate every year in some fair, then for one international fair, this subsidy can happen. Maximum is 75% for space, 75%, and upper limit is 4 lakh rupees. In addition to this, up to 1 lakh rupees economy airfare, that is also allowed maximum up to 2 persons. Now question comes that whether this subsidy will be given before attending the fair or after attending the fair. Then answer is that this subsidy will happen only after attending the fair. This will not happen before attending the fair. That means this is a sort of reimbursement subsidy where first of all your client need to spend money out of his pocket and you will keep the track. You will apply in advance and then you will upload the documents related to attending the events. You will produce the documents and documents also online to be submitted, and then after the event this subsidy will happen. But because this is year on year subsidy, that means we can say that every year MSc who is into exports, who participate in the international fair, is eligible to get this 5 lakh rupees from government of Haryana for attending one such a fair every year. Let us talk about domestic fair. Question may happen that this subsidy, okay, this is for exporters, but my MSME client is not exporter. He supplies his goods only in Haryana. Then what? Then boss, there also one fair every year. That means domestic fair. This subsidy is available for domestic fair also. In addition to international fair. That means the subsidy for attending the international fair is separate and subsidy for attending the domestic fair is separate. And eligibility for this is also micro and small enterprises. One fair every year. This is the subsidy condition. And the quantum of the subsidy, you will notice that here in case of domestic fair, the quantum of subsidy is 3 lakh rupees. Whereas in case of international fair, we have seen that subsidy quantum is 4 lakh rupees. But overall, this is 75% for space charges that continues. And similarly, airfare by economy class, this is also there 50 lakh, 5 lakh, no, 50,000 rupees. And this 50,000 rupees maximum up to 2 persons. And this 50,000 rupees In case of international fare, this is 1 lakh rupees, whereas in case of the domestic fare, this is 50,000 rupees. Means 3.5 lakh rupees are possible as a subsidy for attending the domestic fare, and this subsidy is also available on YOY basis, means every year. Well, if you are practicing in the field of subsidy, then yes, you can think of this. If you are not practicing, then you can start. This is not a rocket science. You can easily do it. And while doing it, yes, initially you will face some challenges, some legwork will be required, some deep learning will be required. But this deep learning is very easy in comparison to the rocket science, because all the schemes, all the government notifications, all other things are available on the websites. Because they are available on websites, then you can go through, and whatever subsidy, you can identify the subsidy for which your client company is eligible, and then you can sensitize your client, and if he is open, then you can apply. Initially, if you have not done such type of work, this will be initially a new thing for you, means additional efforts. But once you do 3 cases, then after that your articles will be able to do it. Now let us talk about the third subsidy, which also happens on YOY basis. This subsidy is in relation to testing equipments. As you understand that testing equipments is something which ensures the quality. That means to take care of the quality, Haryana government says that if MSME procures the new testing equipments, then 50% financial support will be provided by government of Haryana. And this 50% is also on YOY basis. That means if you procured testing equipments in 2023, and later on you procured testing equipments in 24, 25, then both the years you are separately eligible for maximum subsidy up to 20 lakh rupees every year. And here you will also notice that here MSE also have second M. That means as far as testing equipment subsidy is concerned, this subsidy is available not only for micro and small, but this is also available for medium size industry testing equipment scheme. 50% of the financial support and maximum 20 lakh every year. And mode is again reimbursement. That means first of all, your client company need to pay from his pocket, and after that then you will apply. Then the field survey will happen. Thereafter approval or whatever. If rejection comes, you are eligible to apply for the appeal that is mentioned in the scheme, the detailed scheme. And this testing equipment scheme is very attractive scheme for the reasons that irrespective of ABCD, these international fare, domestic fare, and testing equipment, these are available for all the blocks. And testing equipment scheme is also attractive because it is available for the medium enterprises also. Therefore, I find that this scheme is very attractive. And yes, many of my clients, they also avail this testing equipment subsidy from Haryana government. Now, let us talk about the assistance for technology acquisitions. As far as my experience is concerned, I have done one successful case here in case of the technology acquisition. Not many cases are there, and limited cases are only there because the condition says that technology which has been procured should be from premier institutes, national and international, or patented technology from domestic and foreign companies. Now, actually what happens? That whenever this technology is adopted or used, then at that time, most of the time, your client is not aware. And there is no reason why your client must disclose this fact about the usage of the patented technology to you, because we are considered as finance professionals. Means, but this subsidy is very good subsidy, because number one, this is for micro, small and medium enterprise. Number two, the maximum amount of the subsidy is 50 lakh rupees. And this is in the form of reimbursement, and this is 75% of the cost for acquiring. But because this session has an interface, therefore we cannot do some work. We cannot do the homework that how the subsidy will work out if say the technology adoption is only 40 lakh rupees. What will be the quantum of subsidy? But you can do it that if quantum of the technology adoption is 40 lakh rupees, then 75% of the cost for acquiring. If 40 lakh rupees has been paid to acquire the technology, then maximum 75% of that, that means 30 lakh rupees can be claimed from Haryana government. And if say quantum of the cost is 1 crore rupees, then this 75% will come to 75 lakh rupees. But there is a upper cap of 50 lakh rupees. Then in that case, this subsidy will be restricted to 50 lakh rupees only. Let us talk about that, okay, if any company itself acquires patent, then what will happen? First is the subsidy for testing equipment scheme so that the MSMEs can take the benefit of that and they can aspire for better quality because they are doing the testing because before releasing the goods to the customer. Second is assistance for technology. Fine. But if say someone develops this technology in-house, then whether there is some benefit, answer is yes. If in-house technology is developed and this patent is applied and patent is granted. If patent is granted, then this MSME is eligible for this subsidy. And this subsidy, you will be amazed to note that this is 100% of the actual expenses. Now question comes, what is included in expenses? Actual expenses includes filing fees, consultancy fees, search fees, maintenance fees, publishing fees. All fees, including the consultancy fees, are included, and the maximum subsidy is 25 lakh rupees. Then one more thing. Suppose one of your client acquires 3 patents. Now question comes, is he eligible to get subsidy for 1 patent or for all 3 patents? Answer is for all 3 patents. Your another client develops 1 patent in 23-24 and another patent in 24-25, and he develops 2 more patents in 25-26. Will he get subsidy every year? Answer is yes. Every year this subsidy is available, and this subsidy is available not only for the domestic patents, but this is also available for international patents. Means it makes sense if any of your client has done some innovations and which innovations are substantial. If innovations are substantial, then it makes sense to apply for patent. And if patent is granted, then this subsidy can be availed from Government of India. Shwetaji, whenever you have a question bank of 5 questions, then we can take those questions in the intermittently also. Well, Shwetaji will respond regarding this. And now let us talk about another quality certifications. Quality certifications, you might have noted that ISO series is there. Z is developed by Government of India, which goes with the name zero effect, zero defect. Then BSI certifications may be there. World Health Organization certifications may be there for the medicines and for the food products. Then HACCP certifications may be there. Hallmark certifications may be there. So then this certification, quality certifications, the subsidy is available for quality certifications also to the extent of 75% of total expenditure incurred. For obtaining certifications and logistic charges thereof, maximum 5 lakh per certification. Here I would like to share my experience that one of my client, I am Faridabad based, one of my client got the patent. We applied for a subsidy. And when we applied for the subsidy and later on we approached the district MSME office, then district MSME office said that for the first time we are processing such subsidy. Before this, nobody has claimed the subsidy for the patent. To see how awareness can transform the balance sheets of your clients. That is also very important, and onus of creating the awareness is always on the professional, because what we tell client can only do that thing. Anyway, let us talk about, after this quality certifications, let us talk about another subsidy, that this quality certification, if this is applied for other countries, then for example, say European quality certifications are to be procured by your client because his customer wants that certificate before procuring the goods and he applies for that. Then will he be able to get this some subsidy because he is applying for the quality certifications as per the protocol of the other nations? Answer is yes. Here subsidy quantum is increasing from 5 lakh per certifications to 10 lakh per certifications. If you have worked with the naturally you have worked with, and if you have worked with the exporters, then you know that yes, exporters life is difficult till they attain the first 3 exports, and after that their life is difficult whenever they add any other nation, because they have to comply with the requirements of that nation in respect of the quality. And some of the importers, they put qualitative restrictions that you must have this and that certificate. Research and survey will happen, that your processes will be verified by the third party, whether you are adopting any uh, prohibited practices or not, just like child employment or whatever. So then these certifications, yes, government of Haryana gives the subsidy against these certifications also, but very few people have availed this subsidy in the arena of MSME. Now, Shweta ji, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Please, Shweta ji, whenever you have a bundle of 5 questions, then what I will do, I will stop in between and will take those questions first.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Right? So that
Right,
the
right.
so that the session is more interesting. Perfect. And
Yes, sir. Yes.
Shweta ji, see this quality certification. I was talking about this quality certification, which may be required for other countries. And see this interesting subsidy, that this subsidy is not only for the quality certifications which are available in India, but if say any exporter has to procure the quality certifications for European standards or American standards or whatever, in that case also Haryana government facilitate the subsidy for such MSMEs. And here you will find that this is not MSE, but this is MSME. Means first thing to be checked by a professional is that whether the subsidy is available for MSE or for MSME. If it is available for MSME, the right knowledge is important. Then even medium level enterprises can also be roped in for these benefits. Everybody loves whatever subsidies they can get. This is good for the health of the MSMEs, and this always boosts their confidence. And assistance for environment clearance, compliance. Now, environment compliance. What is this environment compliance? The two things are there: consent to establish and consent to operate. And here, let us talk about the environment compliance. That in India there are 3 categories. Red is first category. Second category is orange, and third category is green. The red category projects need to take consent to establish as well as consent to operate. Consent to operate. For example, say refinery in Panipat. Refinery in Panipat is covered under red category. So therefore, consent to establish and consent to operate both are required. There may be units, say the units which are say in electroplating zone, they are also in red category. And say someone is setting up a unit, mid-size unit, which is not in electroplating zone. Then what will happen that that person, when he will take consent to establish, lot many conditions will be put by Ministry of Environment and Forest. And these conditions need to be complied with, maybe related to ETP or whatever, maybe related to ZLD. What is this ETP? ETP is effluent treatment plant. And another one is sewage treatment plant. When we use the word sewage, this is related to the domestic waste, domestic liquid waste. And when we talk about effluent, then this effluent is related to the industry. Whenever, and there is nowadays another term which goes with the name ZLD, zero liquid discharge. And this zero liquid discharge, STP and ETP, and forget STP, let us talk and let us focus only on ETP. So then what happens that ETP and ZLD, these are costly technologies. Because these technologies are costly, so therefore what government says, okay, the MSME sector may not have that much deep pockets that they will be able to afford. So then what do they say? They say that if you are for the environment compliance, you are doing some ETP or you are installing air pollution control devices, then this subsidy to the extent of 50 lakh rupees or 50% of the capital cost, this is one-time subsidy. The important thing to understand is this is one-time subsidy. Second important aspect is this is available for MSMEs. And any MSME where the effluent is there, I can tell you that yes, there this environment compliance is required, and to comply with this requirement, if they are going to set up the ETP, then up to 50% of the capital cost they can claim as a subsidy. And as a professional, you can facilitate. And when a check of 50 lakh rupees or say 40 lakh rupees, or even if the cost is 60 lakh and the subsidy is 30 lakh rupees, your client will have a smile on his face. And if he will have a smile, your face automatically will have a smile. Therefore, take care and go for this assistance for environment clearance. This is very important subsidy. And
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
So we have one question here
yes.
that goes like this. A patent subsidy is 25 lakhs per patent or per year?
See,
And how easy or tough it is to obtain the
yes,
subsidy?
yes. This is very good question, and let us talk about this question. When we talk about this patent subsidy, patent cost. First of all, patent cost. When we say patent cost, what is this patent cost? This patent cost basically is for, this is maximum. This subsidy is maximum and this is 25 lakh rupees. But usually what happens, as I shared my experience also when we applied for patent in Faridabad, and then district MSME officer said that in his lifetime, he is first time handling such subsidy. He did the field survey, he visited the company, he saw even the product, the instrument which was developed by my client, and he applied his knowledge also. Then he carefully checked all the patent documents also. But see, the this subsidy, when government was designing this subsidy in 2020, perhaps the government could not understand, and this subsidy is basically for every patent, and this is for international patents also. For example, what happens that international patents are costly. The patents which happens in India, that means domestic patents, usually cost less than 5 lakh rupees. And international patents, because baskets are there, baskets of the countries are there, and you need to apply with various baskets, and the cost when it is turned into dollars comes very heavy. Therefore, while designing this subsidy, the Haryana government thought that if say someone applies for all the countries, then what will happen? What will be the cost of applying for the patent? And that way this 25 lakh rupees subsidy has been designed. And this is 100% of actual expenses, and this is not per year, but this is basically per patent. Same client of mine is in process of getting 2 more patents, and we will be applying the subsidy for him also. But the quantum of subsidy, because he went for domestic patent only, the quantum of subsidy was only 1,60,000 rupees for the first patent. Maximum does not mean that you shall do the dirty work. Dirty work shall not be done because everything has a trail. And if you wish to be in this field for longer time, then also advise your clientele that they shall also not get involved in dirty practices. Otherwise, what will happen? They will get blacklisted and they will not be eligible for taking the subsidy in subsequent years. So then, Shwetaji, your first question is replied that this subsidy is per patent, this is not per year. Well, we were talking about the subsidies, and we are talking about the subsidies. First, we have seen the subsidies which are there for the purpose of marketing. Then we have seen subsidies which are there for the technology. Then we have seen subsidies which are there for patents. Then we have seen subsidies which are there for quality certifications. And then we have seen the subsidies which are related to environment compliance. This environment compliance may be in the form of ETP, or this may be in the form of installation of air pollution control devices. And logistic charges are also included therein. And this subsidy in relation to environment compliance is 50% of the capital cost. And this is restricted to maximum of 50 lakh rupees. But this is one-time subsidy. And now ZLD, zero liquid discharge or zero effluent discharge, where company is generating the effluent, but it is not discharging even a drop of water in the public place, and same is reprocessed and it is used within the premises. Means reuse of the treated wastewater that is there. In such cases, the subsidy goes up to 1 crore rupees for MSME. That means this subsidy is because one time. This subsidy can happen only when the company is at the nascent stage, where it is taken the consent to establish and consent to operate is to be applied. That means where the system of ZLD has been set up. And whenever this ZLD system has been set up, then total cost of the ZLD, 75% of the capital cost, and maximum subsidy which is available is 1 crore rupees. So then we started from 5 lakh rupees for international fair. And now we are discussing the subsidy which is being provided by state government, which goes to 1 crore. But this is one-time subsidy. Whereas the subsidies, some of the subsidies are on YOY basis. And some of the subsidies, just for example, we saw quality certifications. Then that subsidy is per certification. That means per certification means a company requires 5 quality certifications, then per certification that subsidy is there. But maximum limit does not mean that that should be. This is also in terms of the percentage, and that shall also be taken care of whenever applying for subsidy for any of the clientele. Well, nowadays, Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Yojana and conditions put up by various state governments that if your campus is 1 acre, more than 1 acre, half acre, then you need to do the rooftop solar system. And this rooftop solar system subsidy is also there available in Haryana. And when we talk about this subsidy is not in absolute numbers, but this subsidy is in the form of interest subvention. Means if that MSME goes for the loan to install the solar rooftop, then what will happen? That on the term loan which it has taken to install solar rooftop, the interest subvention to the extent of 5% will be given by government of Haryana, and this subsidy will be there for 3 years. For example, say solar rooftop installed, the total cost of installation is 3 crore rupees. Term loan has been taken, say of 2 crore rupees, and the interest on term loan is say 9%, then what will happen that 9% will result into 18 lakh rupees on 2 crores for the entity, but maximum subsidy is 5 lakh rupees and 5% interest subsidy. That means any of the two. 5% of the interest subsidy will become 10 lakh rupees per year, but that entity will get maximum subsidy of 5 lakh rupees, and this 5 lakh rupees will be there for 3 years. That means 15 lakh rupees will happen as a subsidy for that MSME. And if say the installation cost, let us take another example, that installation cost, say the total cost of the solar rooftop is 50 lakh rupees and 40 lakh rupees loan has been taken and the rate of interest on loan is 10%. Then on 40 lakh rupees, what will happen? That interest subvention by state government of Haryana will be to the extent of 5%. And this 5% will turn out to be 2 lakh rupees. And this 2 lakh rupees benefit for 3 years, first 3 years, can be claimed as the energy subsidy, renewable energy scheme from government of Haryana. Well, I have shared some of the subsidy schemes, not all. Total subsidy schemes for MSME sector in Haryana are 22. I have shared only 50%. Energy conservation. This is very interesting subsidy, and we know that when initially the World Bank started this project in India for MSME, and in Faridabad, we were the first adopter of this World Bank energy audit, where it was facilitated. But now this scheme has been adopted by the state government also. And this scheme has more than one component. Number one component is energy audit. And this audit, there is a cost of professional doing the energy audit. And for this energy audit, if any MSME takes this energy audit, then there is possibility of subsidy, which is 75% or 2 lakh rupees. Only, but when this subsidy is available, this subsidy is available only if recommendations are implemented. Suppose energy audit carried out, recommendations were given by the energy auditor, and energy auditor recommendations were thrown into dustbin by the entrepreneur, then this subsidy will not happen. Only if recommendations of the energy auditor are implemented, then only this subsidy on energy audit to the extent of 2 lakh rupees will happen. And in percentage terms, this is 75%. Why this percentage is there? So that at least some burden is there on the MSME. Therefore, and there is second subsidy also. This second subsidy is in the form of cost of capital equipment required. Now say energy auditor has referred and talked that all the motors which are in the plant need to be replaced because they are repaired. And the number of motors are say 500. And now these motors are to be replaced. This is the recommendation of energy auditor, and cost of capital equipment, that means cost to replace these motors, say runs to 50 lakh rupees. Then what will be the subsidy quantum? So here you need to recall in which block the company of your client is situated. If this is situated in A block, then quantum of subsidy is restricted to 20%. If it is in B block, quantum of subsidy is 30%. If this is in C block, then 40%. If it is in D block, then 50%. And there is maximum also. Maximum limit is also placed, that is 20 lakh rupees. That means maximum subsidy is possible only 20 lakh rupees. And percentages are there block wise, depending upon in which block the area where unit is set up, that is happens. Now, question comes, what is the frequency? As just Shweta ji asked one of the question, that this 25 lakh rupees subsidy for patent, whether this is for full year or this is for one patent or this is lifetime. So here the frequency for this energy conservation, that is once in every 5 years. That means once this has been availed, thereafter, after the expiry of the block of 5 years, then a company is again eligible to go for another energy audit and then also upgrade this cost of capital requirement, cost of capital and equipments. And when equipments are replaced, then this subsidy can be available once again. Now see, why government gives subsidy? I hope this question will come. And whenever question will come, then I will reply to this question. Now, similarly, as we have
Sir?
talked about,
Sir?
yes, yes,
So we have one more question,
yeah,
which goes like this. Sir, what is the procedure of claiming credit linked capital subsidy
yeah.
tech upgrading? So please enlighten
See,
us on this.
yes, see, credit linked capital subsidy CLCS scheme. Initially, this scheme was launched by Government of India. But as of now, this scheme is inactive. Means the tenure of the scheme is over and this scheme has not been extended. Because this scheme has not been extended by Government of India, therefore we can say that yes, this scheme is only for academic purpose as far as in scheme introduced by Government of India is concerned, CLCSS. And usually at that time, what we used to say, number one thing, that if you don't take the loan, then you are not eligible for this CLCSS. What we used to say at that time when this scheme was applicable, CLC. SS, Capital Linked Credit Subsidy Scheme. This was the full name. Capital Linked, Credit Linked basically. Credit Linked Capital Subsidy Scheme. What we used to say to our client that see, this subsidy is credit linked. Name is credit linked. Means if there is no credit, no subsidy. Second, this is capital subsidy. At that time, what happened that one of the textile company in Faridabad, they wanted to avail this CLCSS because initially before government MSME ministry launched this scheme was launched by Ministry of Textile. Means basically this scheme initially was for the textile industry and this was launched by Ministry of Textile. Later on, this scheme was adopted by Ministry of MSME also. Credit linked means first condition that only when the loan is taken for further investment in capital equipments. Second, this was one-time subsidy. One-time subsidy means this subsidy was one time for to the extent of 1 crore. And this 1 crore subsidy was for the lifetime, but this can be availed in more than one tranche. What we used to say that more than one tranche was possible for this subsidy. That means if say one company has taken in first stage the subsidy to the extent of 20 lakh, then eligibility was for 1 crore. In its lifetime, company can take this subsidy of CLCSS on more than one occasion. That means this is one side I am saying one time subsidy, but another side I am saying that more than one tranche was possible. ऐसा नहीं है कि his 80 lakh rupees now he is not entitled. But as of now, this scheme is not active. And this, as we were in the one of the program, were talking to the MSME secretary, he said that now this scheme is unlikely to become active again. Now, different scheme has been introduced by central government. And Haryana government also tried this CLCSS, but this Haryana government CLCSS scheme is also inactive for all practical purposes. As far as my experience is concerned, my experience as well as experience of my colleagues, yes, CLCSS scheme, though on papers this scheme is there in Haryana, but practically this is not happening. And central government scheme has also ceased, its period is over, and now government is focusing on schemes which are either related to circular economy. Number one, schemes which are related to circular economy. This is the focus area. And another focus area is environment. This is the focus area. Focus area of government has shifted. And if you talk about government of India, the latest most popular schemes where money is happening are gift and spice. But these are the schemes of government of India. Whenever we will have a session on the latest schemes of government of India, that day we will discuss. And today's session is dedicated for Haryana schemes. In Haryana, and if any subsequent question is there in relation to the CLCSS, I can share on the basis, I can share the knowledge on the basis of my experience, Shweta ji.
Yes, sir. Sir, we have one more question.
Yes.
What is new MSME? Any date of incorporation criteria?
Date of incorporation criteria means?
Not relevant. I think it is not relevant question, sir.
See, this is very relevant question because definition of MSME is different in different departments. MSME definition. MSME definition in MSME Development Act. We have taken this question to the government also in one of the interactive session that the definition in MSME Development Act and definition is in Companies Act. Both are different because there are two different definitions. So, and third definition, even Reserve Bank of India has some other caveats and some other ministries have some other caveats, and the definition which is mentioned in MSME Development Act is not uniform. Companies Act defines only the small companies. There is no definition of MSME. That means sub bifurcation of MSM is not there. Only is definition is small company, but Companies Act limit is different. MSME Development Act limits are different. And before this MSME Act came in 2006, there was SSI Undertaking Act 1993. SSI Undertaking Act, and then came MSME Development Act 2006. Means during this 93 to 2006, we as a professional, if you are of my age, the participants who are of my age, they know that in small scale industries undertaking act, what were the challenges and how we were working at that time for this. And later on, government trifurcated the small scale into three, MSM. And then I got replaced with E. I was for industry. That means at that time, service sector was not recognized for this benefit. But with 2006, the change happened when service sector also got recognition and they also got this trifurcation of micro, small and medium. Shweta ji, over to you. If there is any other question, otherwise I will.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is, solar panel is not considered for any subsidy?
What do you mean by solar panel?
Sir, I need to ask the...
The solar power, solar rooftop solar project. That's what that solar project will do. That will generate the power. Because this is renewable sector, therefore that subsidy is available, and we have availed this subsidy for more than 20 of our clients, this solar power subsidy from government of Haryana. But if you talk about the production manufacturing of solar power panel, so that is entirely different game. Manufacturing of solar panels, that is entirely different game, because in MSME sector, that project is not viable, manufacturing of solar panel. So then what is happening, that solar panels are being manufactured in India, no doubt. But there are questions because technology is changing very fast. There are big companies which are manufacturing now solar panels in India, and some of them got listed in 2024, 2025 also. But the question can be only in related to the rooftop solar. And I have already talked about that subsidy. Let us get connected to that subsidy again if there is no other question.
No,
Shweta
sir, we
ji,
don't have other question
okay.
right now.
Okay, fine. So then let us reconnect with this solar power subsidy. This is renewable energy scheme. As I told you that this subsidy is basically not the absolute subsidy, but this subsidy is available in the form of interest subvention. And this interest subvention is there to the extent of 5%. That means any MSME which install rooftop solar without taking a loan is not eligible. Number one thing. If they do it from their own money, they will not get subsidy. Just understand the concept. What is this subsidy? Subsidy is nothing but gap funding. Where there is no gap, there cannot be any funding. Means, number one thing, that only when loan is taken, that also term loan. And if term loan is taken, then whatever is the rate of interest, 5% interest subsidy can be claimed from government of Haryana. And this subsidy will not be for lifetime of the rooftop solar, but this will be for 3 years only. And see, the name of the subsidy is not rooftop solar subsidy scheme or interest subvention, but basically the broader term has been used while designing the scheme. We will go through the schemes also, the government notifications also. If time will permit, we will go through the notifications also. Renewable energy scheme. What is the name? Renewable energy scheme. Means this renewable energy may be in some other different form also. And MSMEs, yes, they are eligible, they are entitled, and maximum benefit can be 5 lakh rupees on YOY basis. YOY. For how many years? 3 years. That means maximum that will happen as interest subsidy will be 5 lakh into 3, means 15 lakh rupees. Clear, Shwetaji? This question, I think. And because you are interface between the questioner and the answerer, so therefore you can tell the field.
Yes, sir. If any other doubt or anything they will
Yes,
ask, I
yes,
will convey.
yes, perfect. On last count, we were talking about energy conservation. In energy conservation, we saw that there were basically two components of the subsidy. One component is for energy audit, and second component is for implementing the recommendations of the energy auditor. Now, there may be an interesting question, and rather without question, I must tell that who empanels energy audit? Shweta ji, do you have this question in your mind?
No, sir. As of now, I don't have any question.
No, this question, who empanels energy auditor?
Do enlighten us on the same.
In India, who empanels energy auditor?
Sir, please do enlighten us on the same.
Yes. See, there is one organization which goes with the name BEE, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. This Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and they impart some training also, electrical engineers and few other engineers, they are eligible and they impart some training. They have their institute in Noida. And if say any electrical engineer is there in your family, and if that person is not doing the job, then there are opportunities for the electrical engineers to become the energy auditor. They have to do a small course from Bureau of Energy Efficiency because they are already qualified. Therefore, the course is small and then they can become the freelance energy auditor. But if they are in job, they are not eligible to become energy auditor. So this is something interesting. So I thought that I shall share this information going beyond the topic. Then this energy conservation, we have seen that for a block of 5 years, this is possible. And the subsidy quantum is more in case of less developed block and less in case of developed block. For example, if we talk about Gurugram, the subsidy for cost of capital equipment will be 20% upper cap. Whereas say if this is Mewat, then this subsidy will be 50% of the cost of capital. Let us talk about water conservation also. Water conservation, again, water audit, 75% or INR 1 lakh rupees, only if audit recommendations are implemented. 50% subsidy on cost of capital equipment required for water conservation, because water is also now precious. Therefore, Haryana government has come out with the subsidy. Otherwise, also when Haryana was carved out of Punjab, at that time, 2/3 of the Haryana was desert. But now with the efforts, the desert portion has reduced. 50% of the subsidy and then maximum 20 lakh rupees and frequency again once in every 5 years. Let us talk about the safety compliance. The third, after energy, after water, now safety. Safety audit, 75% or INR 1 lakh if audit recommendations are implemented. 50% subsidy on cost of capital requirement and capital expenditures. Again, maximum is block wise. 20 lakh, 15 lakh, 10 lakh, 5 lakh. If you will read this in comparison to the energy audit, then you will realize that in energy audit, the percentage was block wise, whereas here the maximum amount is limited block wise. So then two different things. And this is also once in every 5 years. Means block of 5 years, this is possible. Now, see, nowadays, many of us as a professional, we have educational institutions also to whom we are extending our professional services. If you are extending your professional services to educational institutes, and if these institutes are government universities or National Institute of Technologies or technical institutes, then they can also claim 5 lakh rupees per year from Haryana government for conducting entrepreneurship development program. This slide is very important for female professionals who are in practice and have an appetite, rather males also, then, but particularly for females, if they have the appetite for teaching, but they are not into formal teaching, then this EDP, and if they have any client which is, say, any institution eligibility, we will go through the detailed circular also. So then every year such institution can get 5 lakh rupees just to conduct EDPs. And again, I am warning that fuzzing of document is not good. We shall restrict to And we shall always advise our clients that no fuzzing, whatever is your actual expenditure, only go for that when you are claiming subsidy, because the risk of getting blacklisted always remains. Now see, interest subsidy. Interest subsidy for term loan. You will find that on this slide, block A is not mentioned because block A is already industrialized. That means Haryana, if we talk in terms of Haryana, because this is Haryana government policy, Faridabad and Gurgaon, both are out of this picture because they are in block A. And this block does not mean complete district, but this means the part of the district, and various blocks, and the complete list is available under HEAP policy 2020. So then you can identify in which block your client company is there. Only then you can advise whether this interest subsidy is available or not. For 5 years on a term loan of 20 lakh rupees. For 5 years on a loan of 20 lakh rupees. For 3 years on a term loan of 20 lakh rupees. This subsidy is small subsidy. Basically, this is for micro sector, that if okay, if someone is starting some business, for example, say Mudra loan. Mudra loan, now the Mudra loan limit has been increased from 10 lakh to 20 lakh rupees. And I can boast of that, yes, my practice basket have many beneficiaries of Mudra loan where they started very small business and then slowly they scaled, because in Mudra loan, no collateral security is required. And we always applied as a professional for Mudra loan only during loan mela. Only during loan mela. So this is the secret now open, that if you wish to deal with Mudra loan for your client as a professional, then my advice will be that always be on the lookout whenever Mudra loan mela is being organized by any of the branch of any of the bank. Only then apply. And if you apply on day one, before the 1 week mela is closed, your loan for your client will get sanctioned. Keep your documents ready. Don't submit it. Wait for the mela. Whenever mela is happening, then only submit. And this subsidy is also available for women, SC, ST entrepreneurs. 6% for 5 years on a term loan of 20 lakh rupees. So see, whenever Mudra loan is there, we always advise to our Haryana clients that for you, I will ensure that rate of interest is less than 6%. They are surprised. They will always say, sir, nobody else offers this. Because you can club, this is possible, that interest subsidy is possible for a term loan up to 20 lakh rupees. Earlier, the Mudra loan limit was 10 lakh rupees. Therefore, this was happening. Well, these were some of the subsidies which has been discussed. And now let us talk about fiscal incentives. These were the financial incentives and now fiscal incentive. Fiscal means taxation incentives, means relaxation in the taxation. And SGST. Very few people are able to understand the SGST benefit which is available, because as an entrepreneur, they are busy. Therefore, even if they become empaneled and they apply for the scheme, they are unable to keep the track. They are unable to go for the reimbursements. But let us understand this scheme. D block, C block, B block. That means for A block, this SGST reimbursement is not possible. For D block, this is maximum 150%. For C block, this is 125%. For B block, this is 100%. For A block, this is 0%. Then 75% of net SGST in first 10 years and 35% in next 3 years. This is for D block. And this time period also reduces when you go from B block to C block. From 13 years, now it is becoming 10 years. And when you go further down to B block, then you get that this time period has reduced to 8 years. And in case of women and SC/ST entrepreneurs, micro enterprises in B, C, and D block, then this becomes little better. And maximum limit is also there. That means for total tenure of 13 years, 10 years, or 8 years, what is the maximum limit? That is also there. Another fiscal incentive which is very attractive, that is in relation to the stamp duty. Stamp duty which is payable not on share certificates but which is payable on land. This is basically the stamp duty which is payable on land, which is a huge amount because 5-6% stamp duty is there. Suppose someone has purchased the land worth 1 crore rupees, then 5 lakh rupees is the quantum of the stamp duty, or 6 lakh rupees. And this duty can be claimed back D block, C block, B block. For D block 100%, for C block 75%, for B block 50%. And this duty is refund is for B block. This is available for all MSMEs, and not only MSMEs but beyond that also. D block, B block, C block 100%, 75%, 50%. But when this stamp duty refund will happen, why government does not exempt, means why this is not upfront subsidy, why this is reimbursement subsidy? Because there is a condition that within 5 years from the date of purchase of land, commencement of production, commencement of commercial production, COCP, must happen within 5 years. Only then this stamp duty refund eligibility will happen, otherwise not. As we have discussed about the two fiscal incentives, first one was there in the form of SGST, which is the GST component goes to state government straight away. Second, we have discussed about stamp duty on land. And third is there in terms of electricity duty. Every electricity bill, see, we need to understand the difference between electricity bill and electricity duty. Every electricity bill has a smaller component which is known as electricity duty. And electricity is not exempted, but only electricity duty is exempted, and this is exempted to the extent of 100%. This is upfront subsidy. This is not required to be reimbursed, but to be notified. And D block first 12 years, C block first 10 years, B block first 7 years. So this is third. And the fourth one is external development charge. External development charge, someone says setting up industry in D block, there may not be the road, there may not be the access, there may not be the other facilities. So therefore, what government does, government, whenever anyone applies for CLU, government charges the EDC and IDC, internal development charge and external development charge. So this external development charge is exempt in D block to the extent of 100%. That means no reimbursement, but when this will be there, then it is exempted. In C block, this is 75%. In B block, this is 60%. Here, let us stop. But because interface is not there, so then stopping will not work. Let us talk about this external development charge more, that there is a project boundary. That project boundary and the area which falls beyond the project boundary is known as external area. But say ecosystem is required for any factory to work, for any manufacturing unit to work. And if say someone sets up the D block, but there is no access road, then what will happen? So basically when CLU is applied, at that time government charges the EDC, but here EDC will not be charged if the unit is being set up in D block. In case of C block, some exemption. In case of B block, the exemption reduced to 50%. Now, what is the procedure of applying in Haryana about this subsidies? So then there is a portal which goes with the name investharyana.in. Creation of one-time login ID and password, that is important. After that, online application can be filed. Online tracking is also there. Inspection happens in the form of physical. Right to appeal in case of rejection, that is there. So this is the process. And once the subsidy is approved, then thereafter the disbursement process is nowadays easy because direct benefit transfer is there. But in Haryana, this happens in the form of checks. Now, what is the checklist? Checklist of the documents. Because without the checklist of the document, nothing happens. This checklist, which I am sharing, is basically for testing equipment subsidy. So that one example, and then as per the scheme will change, some of the documents will also change. Udyam registration certificate, signed certificate of incorporation, certificate of registration. When I say signed certificate of incorporation, don't get the impression that partnerships are not eligible. In partnerships also, the district registrar of societies and firm that issues the certificate. Certificate of registration along with signed MOA and AOA. If it is partnership firm, then what will be there? Partnership agreement. The board resolution, in case of partnership, this will become partner resolution. Copies of purchase invoices of equipments. Suppose you are applying for subsidy for energy audit. So then instead of equipments, what will happen there? The cost of means the parts which are being replaced for improvement of the energy. See a certificate in respect of investment in plant and machinery, so that the overall limit can be understood and it can be seen whether micro, small and medium, in which category the company falls. Rent agreement of the premise if it is not owned, list of existing testing equipment, copy of GST return, all these documents, copy of testing equipment, machinery, brochure, clear copies of testing equipment and machinery, that means photos, installation and commissioning report, proof of payment to suppliers because this is reimbursement subsidy and first of all, this shall be done over there. Now, let us talk about the macro initiatives. Macro initiatives, after we have gone through the various subsidies, fiscal subsidies, financial subsidies, action-based subsidy. And now what are the macro initiatives which have been taken by government of Haryana? So let us talk about some of the macro initiatives under MSME policy. Cluster development. Cluster development, government of India gives the subsidy and then 20% and now 50% of this is also being provided by state government. That has become an additional component. Means if any cluster development program is there, then 20 existing unit need to join hands. Say for development of R&D center, they can do. Say development of tool room center, they can do. The identical units, they can do it for their industry. And when they do it, 70% of the subsidy will happen from government of India. And 20% of the subsidy will happen from state government. Mini cluster development scheme. This is separate scheme. This is for 5 crores common facility center. Here state government gives subsidy to the extent of 90%. But despite because many procedural hurdles are there, in Haryana only 5-10 applications were filed, less than 10 applications. And we have yet to see any mini cluster which has been developed under this scheme. Now let us talk about macro initiatives, cluster development, enhance market linkages. For market linkages also government of Haryana is working. Quality improvement, government of Haryana is working. International collaborations, government of Haryana is working. Access to infrastructure, how this is being provided, that smaller size plots, because land is costly in Haryana, smaller size plots so that MSMEs can also apply. Access to technology by way of subsidies, simplified regulatory regime, online system, fiscal incentives, they are also there. Some of the fiscal incentives we have discussed. Now, Shwetaji, let us talk about enhanced market linkage because cluster development I have already taught. So therefore, out of this category, now let us talk about market linkage, price preference, exemption from tender fees, EMD, concession in the performance guarantee and purchase preference. So this, yes,
Sir, before starting, I have two questions. Can I take
yes,
that?
yes.
So, do we get reimbursement of SGST?
Yes,
Okay,
this
so
is
we
not,
get the
yes,
so we get the reimbursement of SGST, right?
yes, because certain conditions to be fulfilled. Therefore, this is in the form of reimbursement.
Okay, sir. And
This,
someone asked me to repeat the Mela thing.
okay,
MELA.
international fare and domestic fare.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, perfectly fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let us go back to Mela thing. That was where from we started. See, Government of India has a scheme where there is subsidy for two fares, one international, one domestic. If MSME is located in Haryana, then that MSME can take the benefit of Government of India for one international fare and one domestic fare. In addition to central government, they can take the benefit of participation and this subsidy from Haryana government as well. That means for Haryana MSMEs, MSE only, the two domestic and two international fares, they are eligible for subsidy. One international, one domestic from Haryana government, and one international, one domestic from central government of India. So these are the two schemes. In international scheme, 4 lakh rupees, and this is low hanging fruit. As I use the word low hanging fruit, that if say you are young professional, you have not yet done your practice in the arena of these subsidies, then my take is that this is not a rocket science. And you can start with this subsidy for exhibitions where as a professional, though first assignment you would love to do yourself, I am very sure. Second assignment, 70% of your inputs will be required by your trainees. By the time you do first 5 assignments, then your trainees will be trained and they will be able to do it with minimum intervention from your side. And that minimum intervention will continue to be 10% because you need to keep your knowledge updated because changes in procedures, timelines, many other things. For example, in Haryana, whenever you wish to apply for any subsidy, then timelines are 3 months. If you don't apply within 3 months, then you are technically not eligible. So these things are very important. For example, international fair. You participated in fair, say on 30 and fair concluded on 31st August. Now within 3 months, you need to apply. If you don't apply within 3 months, you are ineligible. After August, September, October, November. That means your application must be filed before 30th of November. If you don't file, then your application can be rejected. And domestic, this is domestic, yes. In addition to Haryana, in Haryana MSMEs, if MSME is in Haryana, they can avail both the benefits of central government as well as state government. There is no bar that if you have availed the benefit from central government, you cannot avail additional benefits from Haryana government. This clarification is there that yes, this is in addition to what government of India provides. Well, let us go for we were talking about the market linkage, public procurement policy. In Haryana, also Haryana government says that my ministries and my public sector units. That means units owned by Government of Haryana. They will also procure, and price preference will be given in tender fee, exemption from tender fees, earnest money deposit, and performance guarantee. These three are the challenges for the MSME sector. And e-commerce platform has been developed by Government of Haryana for promotion of khadi and handicraft. Event promotion, buyer seller meet, buyer vendor development programs, they are also there. Knowledge exchange, and then macro initiatives, quality improvements, and enhancing productivity, technology upgradation, promoting entrepreneurship, financial assistance for EDPs. As we were discussing that if say one of your client is educational institution, then you shall go through that particular notification. And when you go through the notification, then you can realize that yes, they are eligible for subsidy up to 5 lakh rupees every year for conducting the entrepreneurship development programs. You can become the program manager for them initially with their academic, and there can be professional academia partnership, and there they can conduct the EDPs if they don't have the experience. And tool rooms, tool rooms are being set up. Two tool rooms have come up by this time, and the first is IMT Rohtak. Another one is tool room technology center in Saha is there in Ambala. And then there are proposals to develop two more tool rooms in Gurgaon and Faridabad. Now, what Government of Haryana has done, institutional framework. Number one, as we were talking about Haryana Enterprise Promotion Board, HEPB. In addition to HEPB, what has been done? HMSC Facilitation Council, Haryana Micro and Small Enterprise Facilitation Council, that has been set up. Actually, it was set up way back in 2010. MSME Advisory Committee has been constituted where representative of the MSMEs are also there. In Facilitation Council also the representative of MSME is there. MSME Enhancement and Nurturing Support Council, that has also been created. Upgradation of Quality Management Centers, Quality Marking Centers, QMCs. And QMCs are being set up in smaller townships. Haryana Gramin Audyogik Vikas Yojana, that has also been unveiled. This scheme is also there. Well, Shweta ji, when we talk about all this thing now, see, as a professional, what attracts me that okay, if I am small SMB, you call it SMB, na? Small
Yes,
and
sir.
medium, small and medium. So then for small and medium professional, see there are two types of practices. One is traditional practice and another one is modern practice. And this subsidy and incentive practice is very interesting practice because here the things are procedural, means repetitive in nature, and the changes are few and less. And when you do two, three cases, you are able to understand the psyche of the government officials. You are able to understand what is actually required, what documents are actually required, because everything cannot be mentioned in the circulars or the notifications which are issued by the government. We will go through one notification before 145, so that one notification will help to understand that what all is there in the notifications and how notifications are being built. So let us go through the notification, and this is my number 9811386723, and my email ID gargaje24@yahoo.co.in. Though I am sure you will not need my services because my advisory, because yes, because this is not a rocket science and anybody can do it. Now what I am doing, I am going to share one of the notification so that it is easy for you to understand. Give me some time. Okay. opening the notification so that we can see how notifications are being issued and when they were issued. Okay, let us go for the notification, which is for patent registration, because there was a question in relation to the patent registration. Therefore, I will share this notification related to patent. All these notifications are available on Haryana Industries. One of the site which I told you, that is Haryana Industry. These notifications are available. Now see, policy was framed. After that, the notifications came 8th June 2021. And this notification was particularly for this patent registration scheme for micro, small and medium enterprises located in the state. Now, this is mentioned that this patent registration scheme is for micro, small and medium. That means all three verticals are covered. Number two, this is followed by enterprises. The word enterprises means that not only manufacturing but service sector is also covered. Then you can take the interpretation that pleased to notify, Governor of Haryana is pleased to notify patent registration scheme for MSME located in the state of Haryana. What is the objective that is mentioned? Quantum of assistance is also mentioned now. Now see, what is the quantum of assistance? Financial support by reimbursement, actual expenses. What actual expenses? They are also clubbed and put in the bracket: filing fees, consultancy fees, search fees, maintenance fees, publishing fees, with a maximum of 25 lakh for domestic and international patent registration. And this is for every patent. Commencement and applicability. So this will be up to 31st 12 2025, and we are in April. That means for next 8 years, next 8 months, this scheme is continuing. And on or after means which have been MSMEs which have acquired patent registration on or after 1st January 2021. And date of notification 8th June 2021. That means the 3 months period was extended, that from the date of. Now let us talk about eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria: item of manufacture of the unit should not fall in the restrictive list as notified by state government. Unit should have obtained NOC or CLU. Unit should be in commercial production. Unit should be in regular production at the time of disbursement, and assistance shall not be released to closed units. And now procedure. Application on prescribed form. Annexer 1 for reimbursement of expenses incurred in acquiring patent. Then procedure is also mentioned there in the notification. Time limit to apply, as I was talking about 3 months, you can read it here that this is 3 months. It is mentioned in point number 6. Competent authority, this is mentioned who is the competent authority to take the final decision. And this is Director General MSME or Director MSME shall be competent authority for sanction of the subsidy within 30 days from the date of completion of claim. Appeal, interpretation and appeal. As I was talking about the appeal, that if say subsidy applied but it is rejected, then there is a system of filing the appeal, and this appeal can be filed. We have filed appeal for condonation of delay in more than one cases. And except one case, all were upheld. That means the relief was given for delay, condonation of delay. In one case, it was not given. Power to condone delay in submission of application and appeal. So this is there. Delay up to a period of 3 months after the prescribed time limit. That power is there with Director General, and 6 months power is there with Administrative Secretary. So whenever delay is being, say, you are filing the appeal for rejection due to delay, then do remember point number 10. And penal action. This is very important, the penal action. At any time, if it is found that assistance from state government has been availed on the basis of any false information, the applicant shall, besides refunding assistance with a compounding rate of interest of 12% and facing legal action, will be debarred from grant of any incentive or assistance, means blacklisted. So therefore, and if any area is there, that will be claimed from land revenue. This is all there in this notification. We have gone through one notification and all notifications are in this format. And at the end of the notification, this form is given. Invest Haryana is the website on which we apply online, and online approval happens. But intermittently, the district MSME officer along with his one of his assistant usually visits the unit before giving his field report, and that way this happens. So then today we have discussed the Haryana state MSME policy. We have discussed micro factors and macro factors, and we have discussed various subsidy schemes as well as some of the total. I told you that total various subsidies are 32, but we have discussed about 15, 16 of them only, as the session was having the limited time. And now over to Shweta ji for the questions, as I was asked at the beginning that 15 minutes I need to save for the question answers. Shweta ji, over to you.
Yes, sir. Sir, as of now, we don't have any other question.
Then I have questions, but I don't know how to ask because the interface is there. So therefore, otherwise I love to write the questions in the chat box and then the participants, they reply. And that
Ma'am,
way,
We
yeah,
received just
you
now.
have share the questions.
Hello.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, what is the objective of Haryana one-time tax settlement scheme 2025?
Yes, see, this one-time tax settlement scheme is basically related to the VAT, means before this advent of the GST. And this scheme is very attractive scheme. And this scheme gives not only the concession in tax and penalty, but also gives the concession up to 50% of the tax liability. So basically, Shweta ji, this Haryana settlement scheme which has come up, this is number one very good scheme because you have to buy the piece if you are true businessman. You cannot continue to fight, appeal, 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 and appeal. So rather than appeal and appeal, and this scheme is being loved and the scheme is being liked by the entrepreneurs, and 2, 3 entrepreneurs in my circle, they have submitted their application to avail the benefit of the scheme, which is Haryana Settlement Scheme 2025. This is not for GST. This is understood that this scheme is not for GST litigation, but this is pre-GST regime because government also wants to close those files. Therefore,
So one more question.
yeah.
What changes are being made to the common eligibility test system in Haryana, CET?
CET for what?
Sir, it is regarding common eligibility test. Question is like that.
No, see, what we have discussed, that is CETP. That is Common Effluent Treatment Plant, which is for the cluster. And this common eligibility test, as far as the MSME is concerned, so there is no such test, common eligibility test.
What are the key highlights of Haryana's budget for the financial year 25-26?
See, from the point of view of MSMEs, the most game changer highlight is that government has come out with the scheme that if industry is not in authorized industrial area, and if there is a cluster of industries and 25 industries put together, then that area will be treated as industrial area and they will get the benefit of the authorized industrial area. That is going to be the game changer because until now, the MSMEs who were not working from the industrial area, they were unable to take the benefits of various subsidy schemes. At the time of the field survey, the district MSME officers used to submit the report that they are from the unauthorized industrial area. And on that basis only, they never recommended the subsidy scheme for them. So this is going to be the game changer. And now the MSMEs, the onus is on MSMEs that if they are spread in 10 acres and if 25 MSMEs apply, the government of Haryana will recognize them as authorized industrial area and they will become eligible to avail the benefits of various subsidies and incentive schemes in Haryana. That is going to be the game changer for MSME. And new industrial policy, the very recently, the Chief Minister of Haryana, he interacted with the industries in the Manesar last week only, because I told you about this industrial policy, which is HEAP 2020, and it became effective from 1st January. That means by 31st of December 2025, there will be a challenge, and this the validity of this is 5 years. So then government has already started working on what upgradations are required and what required to be dropped from the industrial policy. So that process is already on and interactive phase has already begun with first such session in which happened in Manesar, and I was also invited to that session.
Sir, one question is from me also. Sir, what
Yes.
opportunities, as I read your profile, I came to know that you are the author of Social Audit MCQ book. So, sir,
Yes.
what are the opportunities in social audit for chartered accountants?
See, initially CA Institute did the pioneer work with SEBI for this social audit when this was announced in 2019, and after that two committees were constituted one after one by SEBI. And when this became effective and exam started from February 2023, I'm I'm one of the not one of the first but first one to pass this exam. And because I work with multiple NGOs, and I'm working with NGOs right from 2013 when CSR became active. So then I feel it is lovely to work with the NGOs. And if you are in the age bracket of say 50 plus, then it is more important that you must also get some karmic balance. They pay you the fees. There are no casualties. Only thing, there is no competition, but only thing that the fees which corporate world pays and the fees which NPOs pays, corporate world naturally good payer and NPOs fair payer. That means if once they have committed, they will pay you, whether you deliver or not. And now complications and entry cases are increasing. Very recently, NGO Darpan portal has also been revised. So therefore, my take to young professionals that yes, if you have already put say 15, 20 years in practice, or you are in the age bracket of 50s, then this is must for you that you shall also become social impact assessor. If you are youngster, then I leave this choice because you have sweat to become chartered accountant. Therefore, I leave it to you whether you would love to work with 5 NPOs also in your practice or whether you would love to focus only on corporate. But if you are 50 plus, then my advice will be take some karmic balance also, because bank balance will remain here, but karmic balance can go with you. That is my take on that, Shwetaji.
Sir, thank you. Thank you, sir. One more question. Is there
Yes.
any support for MSMEs owned by women, SC, ST, or differently abled entrepreneurs?
Yes. As I told you that in B, C, and D block in Haryana, number one thing, let us talk about Haryana because today we are talking about Haryana state MSME policies. Three things are there. Number one, the interest subvention on term loan up to 20 lakh rupees. For normal category, the subvention is 5%. For women entrepreneur, this is 6%. That means, say today, what is the rate of interest? 9%. So then at 3%, this Mudra loan can happen for women entrepreneur in Haryana. This is something magical. But that business must be in B, C, and D block. If it is in A block, then this interest subvention is not available. Similarly, two other additional benefits are available. This is number one thing. And number two thing, Government of India came out with the separate scheme for women entrepreneurs. Stand Up, Stand Up Mitra. The name is Stand Up Mitra. So then this portal is being maintained by SIDBI. This SIDBI was assigned this task of maintaining this portal, where loans up to 1 crores are possible to women entrepreneurs. And limit was more than 10 lakh and up to 1 crores, because Mudra loan limit was 10 lakh rupees. And now I think that this will increase to from 20 lakh to 1 crores if women entrepreneurs are there. And the definition, what definition says, say in private limited company, how this will be defined, whether this is women driven private limited company or man driven. 51% in board and 51% shareholding. That way this will be decided. And this Stand Up Mitra is very interesting portal, and I advise that all the female professionals who are attending this session today, because there is female comfort even in the client basket, and many women are now entering into the business. So then you as a female professional have an edge. Because you have an edge, so therefore you must be aware of these Stand Up Mitra scheme, and you must be that there is a interface portal which facilitate that you can apply for loan up to 1 crore rupees for women entrepreneurs. No need to go to bank branch. You can apply through interface, and through this interface you can select the bank's branches also where from you would love to, and whosoever will be interested, they will naturally approach for the additional documentation.
So we have one more last question.
Yes,
Does the Haryana MSME policy support co-working or shared industrial spaces?
yes, this is there. It support co-working and shared industrial spaces, and this is one of the part of the infrastructure. As I told you that macro level, the infrastructure penetration and facilitation, then government of Haryana has also gone for flatted factory complex, where the offices or the floor, production floor can be taken. One such flatted factory complex was developed in Faridabad also.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir, thank you so much for this wonderful session. We are very privileged to have you on board and enlightening us so well on the MSME policies. I'm sure each one of the participants would have thoroughly gained the knowledge about the topic, and this will really assist them in practicing. Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session.
and thank you to ICI, because I have traveled extensively with this MSME committee to the south, and last year I was in Center of Excellence with full day session on this MSME schemes, with where 84 participants from Hyderabad, they attended the session. And I am privileged that one of my book was also released by CA Institute. And today only, Shwetaji, the institute has written me back, and they have accepted one of my article on gift and this another scheme which I was just talking, and that will get published soon, maybe in next 3 months. Thank you very much, Shwetaji. You are very passionate and active listener, and I hope that yes,
Sir,
whosoever attended this
one
session,
request,
they must have got value. Thank you. All the
sir.
best.
Sir, one request. Many participant wants your PPT, so please, sir.
Yes, yes. I will send that. No worries. I will
Okay,
send, and this is copyright free. Just change your
okay.
name and use it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir,
Thank you,
for your
sir.
Copyright
valuable
free.
contribution, sir.
Any of the participant, feel free to change the name from Ajay Garg to your name and use it to spread the awareness. I
Sir,
don't
I
mind.
provided the right to all the participants. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank